Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to implement a two-factor authentication in Java using one-time passwords. Let's get started. Let's suppose that we are building an application with multiple users where we are already checking for the correct username and password combination so that user can log into our app. For demonstration purposes, I have prepared a very simplified Java program that reads username and password using scanner and then checks this username and password against some correct username and password, and if they match, the program prints login successful, otherwise it prints login failed. Let me just quickly show you this. So if I run the program, you see that it prompts for username, so I can input user@myapp.com and then password 12345, and you can see that login is successful. And now if I run again and input some invalid credentials, for example test and 123, you can see that login failed. Please note that this is just a simple demo, because in the real world you would input your username and password into some web page or mobile application, and also the correct username and password would be stored in the database, while the password would not be in the plain text as here, but it would be hashed. Now we would like to add another layer of authentication using one-time passwords. So how do you do this? First, let me show you which libraries are we going to use. So the first one is Commons Codec. This will be used for encoding. And the second one and the third one is Google Sync, Core and Java SE. And those two will be used for QR code generation. By the way, this project is also available on my GitHub repository, so please check it out. The first thing that we have to do is to create a special secret key that will be used by our application and the QR code generator. So let me show you the MFA secret generator class that generates the secret key. And as you can see, it has one function, generate secret key, which uses secure random from Java security, and it generates random bytes and then encodes those bytes to base 32 string, which is 32 characters long. So if I run this program, you can see that secret key looks like this. We will save it so we can use it for our second step, which is QR code generation. The first thing that we have to do in this step is to create a special authentication URL in the format that you can see here, and we will be using a secret key, issuer and account name data. Then finally, we will generate QR code from this URL, which will give us the qrcode.png image. Secret key is the key that we have generated in the previous step, so let me paste it here. Then the issuer is basically your application name, which in our case will be just my app. And then finally, account name is the username of the user that you want to authenticate. Let me now run this so you can see the result. So Ctrl F11 and we get the output that QR code was successfully generated. And if I now click on refresh and then open this image, you can see the generated QR code. Now the next step is to scan this QR code with your Microsoft or Google Authenticator app on your mobile phone, so we can see the generated one-time password. And now the final step is to actually validate the user input password against one-time password generated from Authenticator app, and we will do this with TOTP validator class. Let me just quickly explain this code. So as you can see, we have a main function validate OTP, which accepts a secret key and user entered OTP, and then it calculates the time index by dividing the number of seconds from 1970 with number 30, which actually represents a 30-second time step. And then it uses this time index to calculate the actual correct OTP. And then finally, it compares this correct OTP with user entered OTP. And if they match, we can authenticate user, otherwise we cannot. Let me show you how this works. So first, I have to copy a secret key from the previous steps. So I can copy it from here and then paste it. And then for the first case, I will input a wrong OTP, for example 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then if I run the program, you can see that OTP is not valid. Now I will open my Google Authenticator app so I can read the generated password, which in my case is 819187. And if I now run the program, you can see that OTP is valid. The whole purpose of one-time passwords is that they are only valid for 30 seconds. So if I now rerun the program with the same password, you can see that the OTP is not valid anymore. Now we can go back to our simplified login case and add a code for TOTP validation. First, we have added a secret key, which in practice would be saved in some database or similar. Then we have added a prompt for OTP that user will enter. And finally, we have added a call for TOTP validation. Now let me run this so you can see the final result. So let's first enter the username, then password, and finally the OTP from Authenticator app, which in my case is 030473. Okay, and you can see the message login successful. And that's it, guys. That's how you add another factor of authentication to your application by using one-time passwords. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. Also, if you found this video valuable, please subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next one.